Here we have one of the miniatures that we'll be showing at Masterpiece this year, and it's one of our highlights. It's a black sitter in European court dress of the 17th century. And if we turn the miniature over, we get a clue to both the sitter's identity and the artist who painted him. At the bottom here, it's signed by the artist, Giovanna Garzoni, and it's dated Turin, 1635. And here at the top is some very strange script, which we've managed to decipher as something called Amharic, which is an ancient Ethiopian language from the 17th century. Looking at this gentleman in European court dress, it turns out that he was an Ethiopian prince called Zaga, who felt he had a claim to the throne of Ethiopia after his father was murdered. And he travelled to Europe to try to get support for this claim, having the most extraordinary adventures along the way. The fact that Zaga was painted by Giovanna Garzoni, the court artist, shows just how important he was and how celebrated a figure he would have been at court. As you can see here, he's wearing court dress of a European court rather than anything from his native Ethiopia. He's even tried to grow his hair long, like a courtier of the 1630s would have worn in a very fashionable way. I think Giovanna Garzoni painting him would have found this subject absolutely fascinating. It's in fact the earliest depiction of a black sitter in a European portrait miniature. The fact that Garzoni has attempted to write her own name here, above her name in Italian down here, in Amharic, in Ethiopian script, in the script of Zaga Christ's homeland, shows that perhaps there was quite an intimate connection between artist and sitter. And she's painted him very, very sensitively, just as she would have done a European court official.
I must say that as an art dealer, I never thought I would have the opportunity to handle something quite as emotive as what I'm looking at now. And that is not only a portrait by a female artist, Giovanna Garzoni, done in 1635, that's rare enough, but a portrait, the first formal portrait, as far as we can establish, of a black subject in the canon of Western painting in miniature. The subject is Zaga Christ, an Ethiopian princeling who made his way to Europe, and in so doing came into contact with the court of Turin. Despite the fact that he was a black subject, as a royal, he effectively broke through the barriers. His deportment, his clothes, his general demeanour, that of any other high society figure from the period, captured in miniature in this exquisite form.